Ida. I am the Assistant Director. Oh, not yet. Okay, sorry.
Okay, here we are. We're going live. We're happy to have another episode of Advocacy Tonight. Please, guys, I'm going in circles. We're happy to have another episode of Advocacy Tonight. We're happy to have Bunny back. We also have Crystal tonight. Of course, my name is Paula Armstrong. I'm the founder of Advocacy. I have a special needs daughter, Morgan Pop, that's 19. I have a 24-year-old son, and I'm married and I live in the DMV.
Hello, everyone. My name is Crystal Francis, and I'm coming in from Michigan. And I do have 3 children that have special needs.
Hello, everybody. I am Bunny. I am married. I am in the Maryland area. I have 3 adult children, and I have 1 autistic grandson that I advocate for him.
And I'm Sharon Ida. I'm the Assistant Director with Caring Communities, and I am a special needs advocate. I have 3 children, 3 grandchildren, and my son with special needs passed away 3 years ago. And my heart has been in the disabilities community for, oh my goodness, 27 years.
Wow. That's funny that you say that, Sharon. I don't want to really zone in too much on, your son. I know he'll come up in the conversation because, as you said, that's kind of like something that's near and made it near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
But I want you to start off telling us a little bit about Caring Communities and what you guys do.
Well, Caring Communities is a 501c3 nonprofit. We are a grassroots organization that started just about 20 years ago. And our initial vision was through Mona Friedman. And she has twin daughters, one with special needs. And her goal was to really help the community understand what respite is all about and the actual need for respite care for families in the disabilities community, whether they be mild disabilities, cognitive, physical. We work across the gambit with all special needs children and young adults.
Okay. And I know we've talked offline a little bit about some of the things that you guys do. And one thing that really stood out to me per se was the need for respite care. Can you tell us exactly what respite care is? And can you tell us how you assist parents in obtaining that?
Yes.
Well, respite care, the simple definition is a break. It is a break for any family member, whether you are the parent, the grandparent, custodial parent, it doesn't matter. It is basically a break for a family member to take time from themselves, to be able to care for themselves, to spend time with their husband, their significant other, their other children. And this opportunity is just very difficult for families. Just myself, having had a son with special needs, we very rarely got a break. And when we did, it was hard to find someone, or my son was too complicated. But what Caring Communities does is we have a respite registry, and this is a national registry, and it allows parents, caregivers, anyone to register, and register specifically to look for someone who can care for their child or young adult with special needs. We also have a registry for providers, and this allows anyone who is in the disabilities community who has experience or is interested in even working with children and young adults with special needs to be able to register themselves as a provider. Caring Communities also, to go along with this, we have an online training program which allows people to do a online 4-hour training. This is a general training which allows parents, caregivers, family members, siblings, anyone in the community to take this online course. And it is a general course which covers all forms of disabilities and special needs. It helps people learn how to do proper lifting, how to recognize seizures. There's so many things that actually does. And then on top of that, we have a program which I will go out to organizations, to families who are looking for specialized care. And if they have a child, say, with a trach, and they have a family member who would like to care for them, but they're not comfortable understanding or being able to work with a child or young adult with a tracheostomy or a G tube, even. I come out to the families or organization and I train them one on one and show them the ins and outs of how to do that and help them be comfortable with it, because it's something that a medical professional does not need to be there to do these things. This is something that you can learn on your own. I learned this on my own when we adopted my son, and it's been a learning process, but through it all, I've been a trainer for many years. And so this is one of the other aspects of what Caring Communities does.
Oh my
That
goodness,
that
this
that
sounds
is
so good.
amazing. Yes, amazing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're actually one of the only ones who do this. Our respite registry is national, and it is the only national respite registry. And then when it comes to the training, you can maybe go online and find training somewhere through YouTube, different things like that. But
Mhm.
what Mona has come up with is a very personalized online 4-hour training, which we actually offer to individuals. We also offer that to organizations. One example is the ARC of PG County has taken and
Mm.
they have a license, and they actually have a certain number of people that they are allowed to train for a particular price, and our costs are very minimal. And if anyone's interested as an individual, we can give them information about that. That's also listed under caringcommunities.org. We have many different tabs that you can go to for both the registry and the training. We train teens, college kids, and adults. So we have 3 different programs.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Yeah.
And so you said this is a national registry. How do they get to get on this information so they can receive in their area? Is it through the Caring Communities website?
Yes. So if they go to caringcommunities.org, they will go to the tab that is specifically for the respite registry for respite. And they would click on that and they just fill out all of the information. If they have any questions, they can also email me directly or call me. My email is Sharon at Caring Communities. I handle the respite registry and I keep tabs on everyone who registers, both providers and families in need. And so I'm able to answer any questions, help them walk them through it.
I love this. And I just want
Yes.
to know, like, when it comes to respite care, is there an age limit? Some people just think, well, maybe the person I'm caring for may be too old or too young. Is there an age limit?
Oh my goodness, no. I feel like I
Mm.
am a caregiver for everyone. Not only was I a caregiver for my son, I cared for my father-in-law who had dementia.
Mm.
I cared for my father who had cancer. I
Mm.
care for my neighbor. I help him who has dementia. So all of this encompasses respite. It doesn't matter
Yes,
the person, the age, anyone who is a caregiver for anyone. It doesn't matter the ability or medical condition. If you are a caregiver, then you need to be able to spend time and be able to give yourself a break. And this is something that I
absolutely.
emphasize, example, to my neighbor up the road. Her husband has dementia, and I tell her, you need a break. I said, you need to get away. You need to spend time just for yourself and allow someone else to care for your husband so that you can rejuvenate, so you can kind of get time for yourself and help yourself. Because when you
Mhm.
lose that ability, um, I learned this all sadly, I learned this myself because I was one who did not like to accept help. And when
Mhm.
I finally realized that I needed help, it was a little too late at some point. I had medical issues myself, was in hospice care, and just many different things. But, God's brought me through a lot, and I just advocate. And I even have a respite program at my church, which offers free respite for
Mm.
families who have children in the community with disabilities and their siblings. Their siblings come along once a month. And even though we're in Carroll County, we have people coming from Baltimore County, Howard County, Cecil County, all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing, Sharon. I was looking at your website, and I think I read that you all are the only ones that train teenagers in
Yes.
respite care.
Yes. We
That
have
is
the only,
amazing.
yes. As a matter of fact, with the respite program I am running at my church, I will say half of the volunteers are teenagers. And they have to take the online training, which is through Caring Communities, and they get certified. They get a certificate, which is just amazing. It will be able to go on their resume. It will be able to go on their college applications, different things like that, and just the experience that they get in understanding that there are differences out there, and that just because someone's different doesn't mean that they don't deserve to be loved and cared for.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. And one thing that I love that you said was the fact that sometimes I've been one of those parents that sometimes you can be so proud. You can be to the point where you feel as though you love your special needs individual so much that if you dip out and you get some time to yourself, you almost feel guilty.
Guilty.
Oh,
And but you don't realize that it weighs on yourself. I mean, it weighs on you heavily because what they say, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else.
Mhm.
very true. And it also affects your family members,
Yes.
your spouse, your significant other, your other children. Um,
Yes.
and I learned this the hard way. And it's just something that I had to learn to let go and understand that I am not in control of everything. And when you realize that, and you accept the fact that you need help, there's nothing wrong with needing help. Everybody needs help. And when you have a child with special needs, no matter the severity, whether it's mild or severe or profound, um, just like everybody else gets an opportunity to take a break, go to the gym, go out on a date night, you deserve to have that opportunity also. And it's not just deserving, but it's needed, absolutely needed for
Absolutely.
your own health,
Absolutely.
your own mental health, your
Yes.
insanity.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Now, tell us about the costs associated with that. How, because I know with some of the parents, like myself, we didn't get a lot of aid. So, what's the cost associated with the respite care? And I know we're spending a lot of time on this, and
No, absolutely.
a lot of it is because this is something that most people do not have access to.
That's
Right.
right.
Okay, well, one thing that I can do is I can give information regarding funding through the
Mhm.
Hmm.
LIST program. There are a lot of grants and funding out there that people do not understand. They don't
Mhm.
have access to. They don't even know it's available. And
Mhm.
this is what I do as a medical respite care provider myself. I actually have clients myself too. And
Mhm.
I tell them about this. I tell all my families in my respite program about grants, about funding, and they've applied and they've gotten $1,000, just here and there.
Wow.
And that
Wow.
funding can be used for respite care. And the respite care on average really depends on the child or the young adult that's being taken care of.
Mhm.
If it is a child or young adult with significant needs, a lot of medical needs such as medication, transfers, G-tube feeds, I will say the average that family pays is 20 to 22, $24 an hour.
That's still not bad.
No, I mean, I actually through Easter Seals, I was a respite care provider through Easter Seals of Central Maryland, and they did pay quite a bit more, but it was through a military program. But
Mm.
privately, myself, I only charge between 20 and 25, and I have clients that have significant medical needs. because I've been there and I know it costs money. It costs
Mhm.
money, but being able to access funding and get that funding is really, really important.
Yeah, it is.
I like to hear that with the funding, like the grants and things of that sort. Is it something that you think that's more provided through the state, or is it something that maybe they can access from like national programs or like a national grant or something like that?
Well, there's a lot of programs here just in Maryland. Well,
Hmm.
LIS, low intensity services. Have you heard
Yeah.
of that?
Yes.
Okay. You can apply for that every year, twice a year, and they say it's a random drawing, but a lot of families get funding through that. And then here in Carroll County, there are specific organizations that offer funding. So each county, if you do a search, you can find different funding opportunities,
Mhm.
and a lot of them are private. I have not found a lot of state or national organizations, but there are a few organizations that help people do fundraising. And the fundraising can be for respite or special equipment that is not covered by insurance. And so I can also give access to that information too.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Wow.
seems like that's usually like the bump in the road for a
Yep,
lot of
A
people.
lot
it
of
It's
is.
people.
like one,
Mhm.
they
Yep.
need the help. And then when they're
Yeah.
provided with, like, well, you do know this organization provides help or this organization, then the next obstacle is funding for it,
Yep.
the needing to tap into resources of how can I really utilize this help
Afford them.
and
Yeah.
and afford
Mhm.
affordability. So I really like that you do that, Sharon. That's very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Well, one
Yeah.
other thing that I'm really encouraging people to do, and this is outside of caring communities, is model the respite care program that I started here. There are several churches in the Maryland area, Virginia area that have respite care. And it's not just for the members of the church, they are open up to the community just like we are. And so, one thing that we're trying to do is model what we do and offer the training through caring communities as a general, training for all of the volunteers to be able to do this. As a matter of fact, I was just in touch with someone up in Maine when I was on vacation, and their church has a they call it a special needs ministry, but
Mhm.
they want to model what we do here, and they're going to start a program up in Maine.
That's
See, that is
Yeah,
awesome.
so if
that
you
That is
know
is.
of
really
any
good.
organizations, churches that have special needs programs, they can start this up and offer the same thing that we do.
That
And
is
Caring
good to
That is
Communities
know.
does
awesome.
all the training, and we have
Hmm.
25 volunteers.
Oh, that's really
And I
good.
think
And you
that's
guys are
needed.
such a good, it is needed. And you guys already, Caring Communities is also just an organization that already has set the blueprint. So
Yes.
you
Yes.
don't really
Mhm.
Yes.
have to reinvent the wheel.
No, you do
And
not.
they,
All I mean, we have the training. It's online. It
yeah.
is simple. We give a special program, specifically for each organization that wants to start this. So the training is there. And I think that's one of the things people are afraid, and they don't think that they can do this. They don't think that they can
Mhm.
care for a child with special needs or a young adult with special needs. But it's not as hard as you think. It's really
It's
not.
not.
Yeah. And I
It's
think
not.
what sets you guys apart is you offer the training as well. And
Mhm.
that's
Yes.
what's mostly needed, because you can provide resources, but if we don't know how to utilize those resources, it's a waste. But providing the resources and the training, that is
Yes.
amazing.
That's
That's
half
really
the
good.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's great anyway because I think it tears down those walls of fear.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
think in a lot of ways, most people have never interacted with a special needs individual. So it's
Mhm.
almost like they learn from their peers. That's what they fail to realize. They're still trying to learn from their peers. And at the same time, opens up your understanding to that special needs community. So I think
Yes.
it's kind of like a partnership because, and back in the day, I know when I was coming up, we didn't, and when I think we say this all the time, we didn't always interact with the special needs community. It was almost like a
They were
taboo
separated.
situation. Yeah,
Yep.
Oh,
they were separated.
absolutely. Yes.
So I think
Hmm.
even within our churches, in our communities, in our
Yes,
everywhere we go, I feel like that opens up those doors,
it
and it
does.
keeps kids from growing up with the fear of being around a special needs individual.
It
I think that's
does.
awesome.
And from them feeling the rejection of being separated.
Yes,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
yes,
They
it,
Yes.
it
belong.
completely
Everyone
goes.
belongs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It
Yep.
does. And I like how you said that, Paula, about like the fear. I've
Yeah.
have come in contact with adults who would really share like I would really love to help that family, but I just really don't know what to do. And they
Mhm.
look
Mhm.
at that individual as very fragile and they're like, I don't want to
Mhm.
go in and mess it up. But Caring Communities is offering training, which is
Yes.
virtual, which everyone
Yes.
can access. And it kind of breaks down that wall too of like, it's not really as fragile as you may think. And you might be like, oh, I really can do that. I think some
Hmm.
people really, there are family members who
Mhm.
really want to help, but they just don't know how. They
Right.
see like a lot of the work that parents do
Mhm.
taking care of their children, their young adults, the adults, and they just really, they back away with, I really don't know what to do, and I think that this is something is such a great resource. It's
Yes.
very important. I'm so happy to
Absolutely.
have you tonight, Sharon, because this is
Oh,
Yes.
really
thank you.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
But one thing I wanted to emphasize too for anyone who's listening, if you have a young adult in your home, or
good.
even if they're in a day program and then they come home and they're under the DDA waiver, or they get any type of funding, they can use this funding for respite care. And
Wow.
if you know any individuals who are on what is called the self-directed program, which is a new program through DDA, this is
Yeah.
where they get to select their own caregivers. I have a client
Yes.
in which I care for them currently right now. I was just with them today. As a matter of fact, took them to the gym, took them to the pool, went shopping. And so they choose the caregiver. And this is where Caring Communities comes in. It just like you were saying, Crystal, for family members, they can be a paid provider for
Mhm.
their niece or nephew. And if they feel uncomfortable, they can come in and get that training online. If they want more specialized training, they can reach out to us and they can say, okay, I would like to be trained specifically on how to work with a G tube. Or if you have a child that needs to have any type of injections, so that's very simple. Or if you've never administered medication before, you don't have to be a med certified, have a med certification to administer medications to your niece or nephew, or even if you are a respite care provider. Now, I've got 50 million certifications. That's why I can do all the training. So, but as a provider, you go in and the parents can train you. We can come in and train you how
Mhm.
to do all of these things. And so that's what is just so nice. And we go all over. We go over the all over the entire DMV area.
That was my question,
Yes.
Sharon. I was
Right.
like,
Right.
Sharon,
Oh,
is
I
one of
travel. I
Yeah.
you?
travel. Yes.
I just said, Sharon, I just told you I'm in Michigan, and it's just one of you. And
Oh,
when you start talking about this, I'm like, well, hold up. Are you gonna come to Michigan, Sharon?
Right.
Okay.
oh. Well, the online training can be done there. Now, I
But
could
the
try to reach out and try.
specialized, you said the
Yeah, for the
specialized, like,
specialized, that's where, okay, as a parent, we
mhm,
adopted my son when right after he was born. We knew about some disabilities before he was born. And it's something where I learned as I went. And as I
mhm,
learned, I became more knowledgeable. I mean, I didn't know how to catheterize, my son. I didn't know how to do central lines. Now that's a lot of nursing stuff people
Hmm.
think, but the basics of a trach, I didn't know how to suction a trach, and I'm thinking, no way, I could never do this. But it's not as hard as you think. Once you
mhm.
learn and you
Yeah.
learn properly, it's like tying a shoe. It really
I
is.
don't know
Once you
about
learn
tying a shoe,
it.
but I mean, because
Well,
my dad
well,
had
it's
one.
it's not. It,
Right.
it, it takes more
My
training than tying a shoe. But once
Yeah.
you learn how to do things
Yep.
and learn properly, it's rote memory. You really do
Yeah.
keep it in your head. You
You're
know how to
right.
do it.
Yeah. My dad had a trach, and that was definitely a learning experience. But yeah, once you're taught to do it, then you can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the fear needs to, that
Mm-hmm.
stigma, that fear needs to go away.
Yep.
And that's where just even doing the online training and saying you're open to learn,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and be able to do that. And there's such a need. Oh goodness, there's such a need.
Of course. Of course. I
Yeah.
met someone the other day and they basically was saying that and I don't know if this is Felicia or she's from Michigan, but it was someone that I met the other day. They listened to our show and they said that there was a parent that single-handedly is doing everything and her son was turning 21. She was
Yeah.
fearful of allowing anyone to come in because he was nonverbal and my daughter is nonverbal, so I totally
Mm-hmm.
agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mine was
understand, but
yeah.
I told her you have to learn, you have to trust someone. And tell me,
Yeah.
sure, how do you all go through the process of vetting people out, doing background checks, all
Mm-hmm.
of that type of stuff?
Okay. Well, caring communities with our respite registry, if a family comes on and they say, okay, they're registered and they go on and they look at all the providers, it is the family's responsibility to do a background check. Because if we did background checks for everyone throughout the nation, it's just not possible. We can't do that. And
Okay.
so
Okay.
when someone comes on and they register as a provider, I go through, I look, and I recommend, okay, upload your resume. We want references so that when a family comes in and they say they find someone local that kind of matches what they're looking for, then that family would reach out to that provider and they would interview them just like they would interview a babysitter, just
Mm-hmm.
just like they would interview any caregiver. And they would ask for the references, ask for their resume, and if they wanted a background check, a lot of the providers who come on and register, they have background checks, and they just have to provide that. If they don't, then you ask for that background check to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
So
with my
what is
church, with our respite program, we do background checks on all of the volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's paid for by our church, but we have a special program through our church where we can get a big discount. So,
Yeah, that would be helpful. Yeah,
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 I
to
think
do
that's
that.
important to have.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that would be for any organization, any small
yes.
entity that would like
Mhm.
to start off doing something like this, that would be very helpful for their business going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yes, and a lot of organizations do. They do background checks on if you are a DDA provider, if you are a company that provides services for special needs children or adults, uh, all of your employees have a background check. They have to have basic CPR. Those
Mhm.
are the two main requirements. And then from there, you look at their experience. Do they have experience working with children with autism? Do they have experience working with children that are nonverbal or adults that are nonverbal? Do they have any experience in with augmentative communication? There's a variety of different things. And when families register, they put down those specifics. They can
Yeah.
list what they're looking for.
Yeah. I really like this.
Yeah.
so it's almost like what's that what is the website online care.com, I guess. But this
Oh, yeah.
But this registry is specific to the special needs, correct?
Yes,
Only special.
exactly.
Okay.
Only for special needs, and it could be for any age. It could be for children, young adults, or seniors.
I
So
see.
even though caring communities started off specifically for children, we've expanded into the young adults. But the registry itself is any age, any ability.
I like
I
that. I
like
like
that. When you said that, Paula, that immediately care.com came to mind. I have a
Mhm.
few friends that I know that like to sometimes maybe get extra money or something, but they just have a heart of caring. That's what they love to
Yeah.
do. They cared for seniors and all, and I could just see them like this being maybe something that they would really be interested in, because I think it gets down to really specifics too. You know, the community you're going into and who you're helping. And so I think this is really, really important, and it's
It's
really
a great
good.
resource.
It is.
Because I've even at one time when Morgan was younger, and for me, again, I don't think it's much to Morgan, but of course I'm her mom. But I was using care.com, and it was like a needle in a haystack to even find someone that will work with the special needs community. So I love this because for a change, we have something specifically that caters to our special needs individuals, because what I find is that when there were people on there that dealt with special needs individuals, they was charging $50 to $75 an hour just
Hour.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
of course my
Mm-hmm.
daughter doesn't have a trach, she doesn't have anything, but it was like it was ridiculous to even try to get someone to watch her because it was so unaffordable.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen $50 to $75. I didn't even make that much, and I
yeah.
am very specialized when it comes to caring for children and young adults with special needs. I mean, I do everything a nurse does, and I never
Mhm.
made that much money.
Well, it's funny because with Morgan, when you're talking about the DDA direct services, my daughter is about to cross over into that threshold. And I'm not even kidding. All that I've heard, I'm excited about it
Oh,
because it's like a la carte menu. I love that. Where I mean, it is. It's
it
kind of
is.
like this is the chance that I've always wanted to hand pick, the people that I want to work with my daughter, to get the opportunity to meet people and be able to vet the people out and not feel as though I have to accept just anything.
Right.
So I'm
Yep.
definitely looking forward to that process. So when you say that, I'm like, wow, I'm going to definitely use that registry. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
it.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope everyone does, because the more people we have on the registry, the more families, the more providers. And,
Mhm.
and that's the thing, getting providers. And what I do is I also go to different resource fairs. I
Mhm.
go to different county resource fairs, transition fairs, and I introduce caring communities. I introduce myself, and I try to reach out to the DDA organizations that have people who work for them. So I was just at the Carroll County Transition Resource Day, and it was a fair you know, it was basically a fair for young adults and adults with disabilities. And I was so impressed to see how many young people, college students, young adults, were caring for people with disabilities through the ARC, through all of the different organizations that are throughout Maryland, who provide services through day programs. This is. And
Mm.
so what I did is I tapped into these people. I said, would you be interested in, working privately, for families who are looking for respite care? And quite a few of them said yes. And
Wow.
so they signed up. They're getting registered as providers in our registry. And the more we can access these type of resource fairs throughout the state of Maryland, throughout DC, the entire DMV area, and let them know this is what we have, because finding people who actually care for
Right.
individuals with disabilities can be difficult. And when you
Okay.
have that market already through the DDA providers, and they already provide care during the day at day programs and such, they might want to continue working and doing some things in the evening or on the weekends to give
Mhm.
families a break.
Mhm.
That's
And
an
so
amazing way to network and find some
that's what I'm
extra
trying
hands.
to
Yeah.
do. But
Yeah.
the thing is, we are a three-man show. So Mona Freeman, she is the director of Caring Communities and founder. And Jay Freeman, he works in the background. He does a lot of work with the administrative. We have one part-time person who's in the office 3 days a week. And then me, I was very part-time to begin. Now I'm working 12 months a year, doing a lot of work with the respite registry, with our expo that we do twice throughout the year. And that's coming up in the spring. We have a magazine coming up, so I keep myself busy.
I see. Do you know how many people, well, the question would be, how many people are on your registry?
Oh my goodness, I'd have to check again. The last time I checked, family-wise, we have uh, currently, because we just updated and redid our entire registry. Um, and so right now, I think we have just about 75 families. I'd have to check to see how many providers we have currently. I haven't checked
Wow.
on it in a couple weeks,
Okay.
but I can come back to you with that. But our providers come from all over. We have right now the majority of them are in Maryland.
Mhm.
We haven't expanded into other states as quickly as we would like, but we do want to focus on the DMV area first. Obviously,
Mhm.
this is where
Mhm.
we are from, and we want to try to reach out to as many organizations and, like I said, providers as possible to get them registered because we have a lot of families who are coming on and saying, okay, I'm registered, but I
Mhm.
don't see someone who specializes with, maybe my child.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
we're really developing this. And this is where, coming on to your podcast helps us to be able to get the word out and helps us to be able to develop our registry and grow it even more.
Absolutely. I was going to ask, with the number of families, is it a long waiting list? But I guess they've got to find the right person to work with the family.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, I'm looking at a question
Yes.
from Felicia King here.
Mhm.
She
Mhm.
said she's asking if I'm familiar with vetting an au pair. So, an au pair is someone that you hire. Majority of the time, they come from overseas, and
Yes.
you hire them to be in your home on a full time basis.
Mhm.
And so, vetting them, there are, as a matter of fact, I just found this out. There are some au pair services that have au pairs that are specifically trained in special needs. And
They're
so
very expensive. I was gonna
they
do that at one time.
they
Very,
are
very,
they
very,
are
very expensive, and
yes.
then you have to turn over your car keys. I mean, it didn't work for me, and I
Oh my
say that
goodness.
because they wanted so much time off. You had to pay for training.
Mhm.
You gotta
Vacation.
give them a car
Hmm.
for transportation, open up your house to visitors coming in. I mean, it was just a lot. And I mean, I
It
will
is.
say it benefited them more than it benefited me because Morgan was at school. By the time Morgan came home in the evenings, they were like wanting 2 to 3 days off during the week. They wanted weekends off. I was like, well, when are they gonna
Yeah.
work?
Well, one thing I recommend here to Felicia is this. One, hiring an au pair is very expensive.
Very.
I would, for her son, she says she has a friend with an 8-year-old son with Down syndrome and autism, looking into possible having an au pair. I would first try to find someone local who
Yes.
is looking to do childcare. And
Yes.
even if they do not have experience working with children with disabilities, uh, this is where the parent comes in. This is where our training program comes in,
Mhm.
and hiring someone who loves children. That is the first thing you need. Not
Yes.
someone who's out there to make $1 million,
Right.
Yes.
but
Right.
someone
Right.
who has a heart for children or has
Yes.
a heart for children with special needs.
Hmm.
This is where you need to
Absolutely.
start, um, and this is where we're hoping to develop our registry, so that people can find people who have a heart, for working with special needs children and young adults, and older adults too.
So do you all put ads out based off of someone needing something specific? Like you say, some of the parents may say, hey, I don't see anybody on your registry that
Mhm.
caters to the needs of my special needs individual. Do you all sometimes put ads out? I know you say you do word of mouth a lot, but do you all
Yeah,
put anything?
we do not put ads out individually for families who are on the registry. I recommend, and this is what I did when we were looking for care for my son before he required nursing care. I put ads out. I looked on care.com.
I did
I
too.
put it out to my church members, to the community. I've reached out to organizations such as the ARC, such as the DDA providers, and reached out to them and asked very specifically. I know you have people who work with people with individuals with disabilities. I'm trying to find somebody to do childcare or work part time or on the weekends. Can you recommend anyone? But also advertising and putting it out there in the community, and then training them. The parent knows their child the best.
Yeah.
Our training is virtual. I can do very specific training for family members, but Paula, Crystal, you guys know it. You're the parent.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
how to care for your child.
You're right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I trained nurses who came in my home who thought
Mhm.
they knew what they were doing, and I said, I'm
You
sorry,
don't
but
know my child.
yeah,
Yes,
Right.
you
yeah.
Right.
don't. You may know like the specifics, the right syringe to use, and but you don't know my child.
And that's where
Yes.
you have to
Yeah,
take on that responsibility as a parent
yeah.
and say, okay, I'm looking for this type of person. I'm looking for a male or a female or even a college student.
That's what I was about
You
to
know,
say. College students for sure. And
yeah.
I found a lot of college students that specialize in special needs.
Go
Yep,
to the colleges. Go to the
yep,
colleges. Reach out to the profs. Reach out to the director of the program and let them know, hey, I'm looking for someone. I know that you have your program where you are training these college
mhm,
kids are in school for OT, PT, special
yeah,
education, whatever it may be. That's where you have to take on that
Yeah.
responsibility, that role in trying to find someone yourself.
mhm,
We have the registry. We do the best we can through the registry, and again, we reach out. We go to fairs. We have our expo. So a
mhm,
lot of people find out about us through the expo. As a matter of fact,
Mhm.
Paula,
yep.
you did.
Correct.
So,
Yeah,
yep, yeah,
That is interesting going to the college. I wouldn't have never thought about that, to
yeah,
go to the college just to those that are in particular fields and of study. I would
yes.
have never thought about that.
Oh,
And
yes,
even
That's
if
absolutely.
I think even if they're not even in the field of studies,
yeah.
just you'd be
They use
surprised
them
of
for
students.
yeah,
My daughter, she's volunteered here at home with Special Olympics. And
yeah,
so she was just telling me she's been volunteering with Advocacy this summer. And then
yeah.
when she returns to college in the fall, she's let me know, like, Mom, before I left campus, I saw something about Special Olympics in DC, and somebody had a table on campus, and I need to find her out so I can see how I can get involved. So it's just still, she has a heart for
Mhm.
wanting
Mhm,
to work with individuals with different needs. She has siblings with different needs, and I think
mhm,
that she feels a part of the community as well. And
yeah,
I never know where her heart would take her. So I think people who study is one, and then there are just people in the community. Someone could be just studying something else, and this is really still what they enjoy doing. They have siblings or relatives. They love to
mhm,
care. They
Yeah.
love
Mhm.
children. Like Sharon was saying,
Hmm.
mhm.
they might be like, I love children. I really enjoy being around children. So I think you'd be surprised in the college community, like
Wow, that is good to
who's
know.
out there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
Yeah,
is
got a
good
we
lot
to
of them
we
from
know.
approach
Morgan
we approach
School
the
too.
colleges for our volunteers for our
Wow.
expo. Oh,
Oh,
as a matter of fact,
wow.
Paula, you were at the expo.
Mhm.
We had just some wonderful high school and college volunteers. They were amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so being able to say, okay, all these volunteers who worked with us, reaching out to them to say, hey guys, you volunteered at our expo. If you're interested in, continuing this, get on the registry as a provider,
Wow.
that kind of thing. So
A
yeah.
lot of
I'm
people I
definitely.
got from Morgan School too, like from the time Morgan was going to daycare. I got to know all of the people there. They knew me personally, and I would always pull them to the side. Do you watch kids on weekends? They was like,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I was like, okay. Oh, I got a lot of my people from there too, Bunny. That's how I met a lot of people. And I mean,
Yeah.
some
Which
of
is
these people,
great, Paula,
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
might
oh,
know your
absolutely.
kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
After you
Yeah.
work with Morgan and you got to know her, her stubborn ways, and Morgan was always like one of the favorites at the school, and they will always love her determination. I'm like, oh great, you love her that much? okay,
Right.
listen.
I need a
And I
babysitter. I
always,
need somebody to watch her.
yeah. So I
Mhm.
always got to know people that really worked well with her. And then it was good for her because
Mhm.
she knew them and it wasn't somebody she had to get
A
used to.
stranger. Mhm.
Yeah. So I was always kind of
Good
turning
to
over rocks.
know. Mhm.
Yeah.
I know, Sharon, we've spent so much time on this registry that we really haven't scratched the surface of other things that you do. Can you kind of go in? I know we don't have but about 15 more minutes,
Yeah.
and we are going to have Sharon on here a second time because I wanted to go into some of the other aspects of caring communities.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's see. Besides our goal starting off with respite and the respite registry, Caring Communities has and actually holds the only disabilities expo in the entire region, up and down the East Coast from New York to Florida. So we, as Paula, she attended one last year, this past
Mhm.
year. We had, oh my goodness, how many in attendance? It was crowded. It was like
It was
1,500 people
hot.
at this expo.
Wow.
We actually provide uh, this expo as a service to the community where people can come and have access to all different types of services and providers of DDA services.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a DDA provider for a day program, or you're looking for physical therapists, anything like that, services of all kinds, our expo provides this under one roof. We have a lot of resources, a lot of information that we can provide to you regarding the disabilities community and the seniors community. So our expo covers children to seniors.
Wow.
And so
Okay.
again,
That's good.
this is one of the unique things about Caring Communities. We don't focus on one disability. We don't focus on one condition.
I love
Yes.
that.
That's one of the reasons we don't get funding
Because
because
autism is on the rise, and most people
I
just,
know
if
Yes.
they
you
get
don't
lots of
think,
Yes.
funding. They
yeah,
do, and that is
if you don't
wonderful.
have
It really
autism,
is.
yeah,
But
most of
when
the time you're not even acknowledged. It's
Yeah,
like,
when
Right.
yeah, we
you are
don't
an
want to hear it.
organization
Yeah.
like us, we have difficulty in getting the funding because we cross all barriers. We are, I guess, the best way to say it is we do not discriminate against disabilities with our organization. We focus on all of them, and we want to help everyone in any community of disabilities, whether it be autism, cerebral palsy, brain
Yes.
injury, it doesn't matter.
I love it. I
So
love
that's
it.
where we are. And so our expos, our next ones are coming up in the spring of 2025, and all of that information is on our website. Our new project that we are doing, which is really, I think, real important, and Paula, you were very excited about
Yes,
this.
I am. Yes,
We
I
are
am.
launching our World of Possibilities magazine, and
Yes.
this
World
is
of
going to be a free
possibilities.
magazine to consumers. It is going to be a flip book magazine, so people can just download it with the QR code. We already have 25 companies and articles being written about all different types of subjects that will cover anywhere from children to adults to seniors. I could go through the list of topics that are going to be covered with the articles, but I want you to be surprised because it's going to be an amazing magazine.
How do
And
So,
you become a
Advocacy plans
consumer?
to advertise in this magazine, guys.
oh yeah, you can advertise and you can write an article for the magazine. We
Mhm.
are looking for some families to write special articles about their experience as raising children, having adult children. So we have a lot of different topics that we cover. Businesses, organizations that provide services or products can advertise in the magazine also. And if they want to advertise and they want to take advantage of writing an article, that comes with the advertisement. And we're
How do
very particular. We are only accepting one article per category because we don't want to just repeat ourselves 50 million times, but
Exactly.
we want to be able to reach the entire community, both children through seniors. And so right now, I think I'm doing a pretty good job of bringing that in. And I'm going to be, I'm just so excited about seeing how this is coming together.
I am
how
too.
how can the community be on that list when that email or notification comes out for the notification for the
Mhm.
They
the
would just go to caringcommunities.org and it will be there. And then we are going to be advertising the magazine all over. We're expecting to hit over 20 to 25,000 people. We're going to be advertising in clinics, physical therapy offices, hospitals with flyers, mainly like little postcards that will
Okay.
have the QR code. If you're in a doctor's office or a physical therapy office, you can just take your phone, get that QR code, and there you have the magazine right on your phone.
I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
excited to see us on the cover.
Oh,
On
there you go.
We're going to definitely advertise. Because I think this community is growing by the day.
Mhm.
And I think people need help, people need
Yes.
encouragement, people need support. And I think
Yes.
for me, it's like me and my son always say, Mom, he says, Mom, I wish advocacy was around when you were going through. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're going through, you feel so alone. You do.
Oh, yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And I know for the most part, everybody that that's walking in our shoes, they can
Mhm.
say that at some time or another, they felt alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know I felt the same way, but we are not alone. And
Yeah.
advocacy and caring communities and so many other organizations that we partner with. Um,
Mhm.
there's just so much out there. And I will definitely say, through our website, we share other organizations that we partner with. We share them on our Facebook page. So find us on Facebook, Caring Communities. Actually just Caring Communities. You'll find
Mhm.
us on Facebook and Twitter, and we post a lot out there for the disabilities community.
Wow. This
This
is
has been
awesome.
amazing,
It
Yeah.
has.
especially the registry.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
we are
yeah.
we are really really hoping that this just takes off,
Mhm.
and the more people who know about it, the more people who spread the word. That's how it's going to grow. That's how we're going to get more families. That's how we're going to get more providers. And
Mhm.
the important
Yes.
thing is too providers. We need people who are willing to be there to provide the services. And again, if anyone has any questions, if they have difficulty with registering, or if they have questions about finding a provider, they can always reach out to me. And again, my email is sharon@caringcommunities.org.
Perfect.
I want to
And
give a
so it's
shout
Sharon
out.
at Caring Communities. So, yep.
Okay, yeah, and Sharon, can you put it down there in the comment section so that it
Sure.
appears on our Facebook page? But I also want to give a shout out to someone that talks about how they met their godson, Courtney. I remember she's one of the members of our church. She was younger, and she was one of the young ones that came to me. I think one of the first ones that watched Morgan. And Courtney was on point with Morgan. Courtney was on, I mean, when I say she was right on time with Morgan, I know she just had her kids. She's married and she had her kids, but I would have loved for her to be a part of that registry because Courtney was one of the ones. And I think Courtney, when she watched Morgan, she was like 16. And when you say that it doesn't take a lot, I say the same thing because my twin nieces was watching Morgan at 13, 14. My
Mhm.
son was
Mhm.
watching Morgan at that age, but it comes in you honestly understanding and knowing these special needs individuals and knowing that they want to be hugged, loved, they want to sleep, they want to snack, they want to do everything that
Right.
any
Yeah.
other kid wants to do. It's nothing, yeah. So everybody that I talk to, I'm gonna even encourage my son. Listen, get on that registry because
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's
yeah,
what I
my
was
son
thinking. Yes.
Jeremy would be awesome. My nieces that go
Yeah.
to college.
My
Oh,
daughter.
yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell them to register on this because I think, first of all, for those that have already been dealing with special needs
Yep.
individuals, they would be a major asset.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How long
Yeah.
is training, Sharon?
The online training takes about 4 hours if you go through the entire thing. We've had
Okay.
some people who skip the videos, and I can tell if they skip the videos.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I'm able to monitor their progress. And so it does take about 4 hours. Everyone who goes on and takes the training does get a certificate of completion. And again, they can use that to put on their resume, their college, anything they wish. Um, and um, and so if they want to stop and finish it up another time, that's absolutely fine. They can go back on and just continue. I don't recommend trying to stretch it out too long. Just, knock it out in 4 hours. I've got my 14 and 15-year-old teenagers in my respite program who've knocked it out in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once a person goes through the training and get the certificate, will you match them up with families within their areas where they live, or do they have to travel?
No, we don't match them up. They have to go into the registry and register themselves as a provider.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. And then as families come on looking for providers, they
Ah,
will,
okay.
what the registry itself is very specific. You can go into the registry and say you're looking for a provider in Hyattsville, Maryland, in
Got it.
Columbia, Maryland, or in Michigan. I can't
Yes.
say we have any providers in Michigan yet until Crystal gets on board.
I was about to say that.
Come on, Crystal, you
But
can
anyway,
do it.
Get the
Crystal from
ball
Michigan.
started, Crystal.
So you can expand us out to a little further west there, Crystal.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so when you go through the training, or even if you've not gone through the training, say you already work with adults or children with disabilities and you have already got the experience, you don't have to
Mhm.
go through the training, but if you're new at this, you go through the training, you go into the registry, you fill in all of your information. And then as families come in looking for providers, then they look through the entire registry and they say, oh, that person looks like they might fit, and they're in my area. And some
Okay.
people travel. Oh my, through Easter Seals, I went from Western Maryland to the deep bowels of Annapolis and the Eastern
Wow.
Shore. So I traveled, but again, I got paid to travel and then
Yeah.
they took that away. So some people are willing to travel, but if the family's willing to, reimburse for gas, or
Mhm.
something like that, and then the family works out the pay schedule and that kind of thing with the provider, that they do that
Okay.
on their own.
Well, I'm
I love
definitely
it.
going
I
to
love it.
advertise this all over advocacy. I'm going to put your link. I'm going to
Okay.
encourage all of those that I know that's in my family to do that, because Morgan has
Yes.
kickstarted, she's jump started a lot of stuff off in our family. And I do believe that for my nieces and nephews, I see my nephew Devin on here. I see Jeremy on here. I see Tisha. I know Tisha has her kids. Frida, thanks for joining us. Frida was one of the ones I talked to the other day. Frida, I want you to definitely get this. Here go Jeremy talking about wow. Frida, I want you to definitely get this information to your friend who feels like she has no one. I talked to her on Sunday, but I'm going to advertise this all over my page. So for
Yes.
those that are listening and you know somebody that would be a blessing to a family, just to give them a little break, go on there
Yes.
and encourage them to register on this
Yes.
respite registry. We need you guys. It's like that. What is it? The
Absolutely.
military. We need you guys
We
to
need
sign up.
you.
Yep.
You.
We take care of
Yeah,
our
we
own, like
need.
the Marine Corps, right?
Yes.
There you
Yes.
So
go.
we're gonna
Yes.
push this registry. We're gonna push this registry as
Yes.
much as possible. So I'm gonna put it on our Instagram. I'm gonna put it on our Facebook. We're gonna put it everywhere, and just encourage as many of your friends and everybody to sign up. Sign
Yeah.
up and be a
Yes.
blessing to somebody, because that's what you're doing. You're not just being a blessing to these families or to that individual, but you'll be surprised at how God will bless you. He will.
Absolutely.
Amen.
He
Yes.
Oh,
will.
yes.
Yep. And
Yes.
get it expanded to other states. So, as Crystal gets it started in Michigan,
Yes.
if there's someone from Pennsylvania, get it started, because that's how things grow, is word of mouth.
And
Yep.
let's get these
Word of mouth.
churches. Let's encourage these church
Absolutely.
members. Come on, sign up.
Absolutely.
Even in the churches, let's get these church members. You want to help these families? You want to be a blessing to these families. Let's get these church members.
That's
Put your
right.
mouth where your money is, and then you're getting paid for it. Let's get
Yeah,
these
and
church
if they're
members.
interested in learning how to
Yeah,
start a respite ministry, they can
that would
reach
be
out to me. I
nice.
can send them
Oh,
all
yeah.
the information, how to do it, everything.
Well, you know what, Sharon, send it to us because
Please
that's
send it.
something we're going to
Yes,
Yes.
definitely try to encourage
yes.
with our churches to
Please
start
send it.
Okay,
a
I will.
respite
I will
ministry.
send you my flyer and how to go about it, and getting your volunteers from church and starting a ministry.
Let's get this done,
Absolutely.
guys.
Oh,
Which
I
I
I have
love
to
love
it.
it.
I
say,
love it.
this is something that is near and dear to our
Yes,
hearts,
First Baptist of
family
Mhm.
members.
Glenard. I've already
Because
visited them. First Baptist of Glenard is one of the churches that
yes,
Oh,
does
First
invite
Baptist of Glendar.
believers.
Actually,
Yes,
they're taking our trainings. A lot of people are taking our trainings through there.
yes. I
Yes.
visited
yay.
them. Yes, they do the training. So y'all, if
Yeah,
one church can do it, we all can do it.
we all can.
Yes,
Let's get started on this. Let's talk to our
We
church.
all have members with different abilities.
we
Yes,
do.
Absolutely.
yes,
We
from the
do.
young to the old. Let's get it
Yes.
Yeah,
done.
very good.
Sharon, thank you
Oh
This
my
so
has been
much.
gosh.
amazing.
Yes, this has
Thank you
been
so
so
much.
amazing.
Oh, you're
Y'all, we are
welcome.
looking forward to being advertised in Insurance Magazine because Advocacy
Oh,
is
Caring
definitely,
communities.
yes, yes, I'm definitely going to do it.
well,
But we
spread the
want to,
word because once it comes out, everybody who wants the link, I will send it to you. It will be available, and you just get it out there so that everybody can have it for free.
yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
Yep. And let me know if you're interested in writing an article.
Yeah,
Oh
we're
yes.
gonna probably do an article. We're gonna bring somebody in to write.
Oh, there you go, Paula. Well, we'll
Come
talk
on,
about that offline.
come on, Autumn.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So
Well,
again, if
again,
anyone has any questions, they can reach out to me. It has been wonderful spending time
yes,
with you guys, and I look forward to having another opportunity.
yes.
Maybe you know, closer to the new year, however it
Mhm.
works out for you guys, and we can go from there.
And we definitely
Oh
want to
yeah.
participate in the next expo as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Oh,
what I
Yes.
want to say. Like,
Yes.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the
Mark
next
said, come
expo
on,
well,
in
we have
Autumn.
May.
two. We have
You
two
have
coming up.
two.
Two.
You
We
have
have
two
two.
coming up.
We're
Yeah.
going to be back down in the PG County area again. We've been there for many years. We'll be back out in the Frederick area, which is the western region of Maryland. We were out
Mhm.
there in 22. It's hard to find a venue that will fit us because you see
Hmm.
how many people we have, Paula. And
Yes, it
so,
is.
yeah, we have to find a venue that fits us, that's accessible. And so we're going to be out in Frederick at the Clarion Inn on May 17th. We'll be back down in PG County on May 3rd. And so I'll send you all the information regarding the expo, and you can advertise that on Advocacy and let people know about it. It's free for any participants. If you know anybody wants to come in as a vendor, we have nonprofit prices, so they can discuss that with me too. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, we getting involved. We
Good.
getting
Oh
there you
involved
yes.
for
go.
sure.
Yes. And I
Yes,
will
well,
say this, Sharon, not only will I be sharing this information with my daughter, I will also, I put this on my calendar that I hope to like get to meet you in person
Oh, I
and
would love
get to
it.
experience the expo next year in May. That'd be
Absolutely.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
in
hope
and
that
out
you
the
guys will be
area.
able to meet Mona one of these days too. So
Mhm.
Yes.
she's been very busy. I know she's listening, she said, but as she said, this was my baby.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
We can
And
tell.
then
We can
tomorrow we are
definitely
going to be
tell.
going up to Jarrettsville to an organization called Layla's Gifts. I'll give a shout out to them because they do birthday parties for children with special needs free of charge. I'll
Wow.
send some
Brittany has a
information about that
birthday
too.
coming up. I need to get in touch with
There
her.
you go. Yep. So
Yes.
they're spreading all over the United States too. So I'll send you some
Wow.
Layla's
information about
gift.
those. This is how we collaborate.
Amazing.
We collaborate with a lot of organizations and get involved and support them. So we'll be up there planting sunflowers for special needs children.
Now, where's she?
She is up in what's the area?
Oh, that's far.
Northern Maryland, up by
Northern. That's like Fredericksburg area and
no,
that
no,
way.
no. Fredericksburg is Virginia. So
Okay.
Jarrettsville, up by I'm forgetting. I'm losing my train of thought here. I'll send you the information. But
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know it would be a long haul for you guys, especially you, Crystal, but everyone's welcome to go tomorrow to experience it. So I'll send it to you in a link real quick after we're finished.
All right, I appreciate it. Well, thank
Perfect.
you again, Sharon,
It's
for
been
joining
amazing.
us. Yeah, I mean, I think we are going to, advocacy is going to get to know caring communities, and we are
Yes.
going to definitely, we would love to partner with you guys in getting the word out and helping as many
Yes.
parents as we can. So we just appreciate you and Mona coming on and spending time just letting us
thank
know
you.
all that you do. And we didn't even scratch all the surface, but we
Yeah.
would love to have you on again. But we did enjoy the conversation about respite. Again, sorry guys, we
Absolutely.
took over that, but that's a
That's
need.
okay. It's an important piece because
That's a
Important.
need.
there's such a need. So absolutely. You let me know when you want me to come back on, and we'll go from there.
All right,
Yeah.
Bunny, did you have any closing remarks? I know Crystal and Bunny, did y'all have anything?
I don't. Thank you so much, Sharon. This was so informative. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
you're
And
welcome. Thank you.
I'm signing up for the registry. I am signing up.
Okay.
You are?
Wonderful.
Okay, all right. I challenge you. I'm gonna make that challenge.
All
Maybe
righty.
me and Hubby can do it as a team. We get a break from Morgan, and then we give somebody else a break.
Yep. Yep.
I
I
love
like
it.
that.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I do. I cared for my son with special needs his whole life to 24. And back in 2012, I started providing care through the military respite care
Wow.
program.
Yeah, I'm going to sign up. I am.
If it
Thank you
weren't
so
for us
much.
adopting my son who with special needs, I would never be where I am today. I wouldn't be with caring communities. You know, I wouldn't be in this community if it weren't for God leading us to adopt our son with special needs.
And that's a whole nother subject for
It's a whole other
our
subject. Yes, it
podcast.
is.
Whole nother subject.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, you all have a good one. Sharon, thanks again. We appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All
Blessings,
right,
guys.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.